Hi, my name is Sue Kemnitz, and thank you for joining me today. I'm an artist and an illustrator, an encourager, and an instructor, and you can find me at suekemnitz.com, which you may already be on my site because that's where my blog is. And what we're going to do today, I have some little fun things from Robin Marie Smith. I'm on her design team, and I have some fun things that we're going to just try and that we are going to incorporate into a piece of art. And that piece of art is also going to include one of my artful ladies. And if you, so I invite you to look around my website, and I invite you to look around my Instagram account, Sue Kemnitz Art, and just see some of those little ladies, because they are, they're dear to my heart. Watch out for your jelly plate. I have a jelly plate here, and it doesn't react well with just that and the paper. The paper will stick to it. So I will set that aside for a moment, and I have the In the Garden sticker tapes, and I have a card here which is just a beautiful inspiration. I think I'll put that up in my little inspiration pile up there. And we have some stickers and some flowers and some arrows, and I also have a couple of her stamps. So the stamps are from her inked collection, and I may use one of her houses from the Doodles and Daters because I like those a lot. So I decided to do just a really pretty background. Well, I assume it's going to be pretty with my jelly plate. And so I'm just going to dab a couple of colors on here. You really don't need very much paint for the jelly plate. And I'm just going to rub these. Brayer the colors. And then I'm going to actually take a piece of tracing paper, which I'm also going to spray just a little bit of water on this so that we can have just a really loose watercolory type of effect on our bristle board. And I should mention my background is actually going to be on a piece of bristle board. So I'm going to spritz that on just a little bit, and we'll just see where this takes us. I'm going to actually do a couple of prints. Robin Marie actually has a great tutorial on printing. Just sorry, I'll put the name of it in my show notes, and it just really I'm going to turn this over a little bit too so we get some of that. And it's all about kind of blocking some of the parts of the paper off, and you get these really pretty lines that I like. And that's kind of interesting what's happening in the middle, because I turned this piece over in the middle too. So there is layer one, which I like. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of, I think I am sorry, I need to do a little bit of blue, and I want it on this side, so I'm going to actually put it on. I'm sorry, this is magenta. I am going to do blue, but I'm going to do the magenta first. And that is really thick. I don't know if it's just a little old or why that's so thick. So I'm going to add just a little bit of white to it. Just tone it down just a little bit. I'll put just a little bit on this side too, so we're not getting just one side. Again, I think I'm going to put a piece of tracing paper down, so that we can get some of that just kind of lines there, and move that over just a titch. Look at that juicy white or juicy yellow up there. Let's see if we can get a little bit of that up. I think I'll spray it with the spritzer. See if some of that will come up a little bit. And you know, it's kind of fun because you're never quite absolutely certain what you're going to come up with, which makes it just a little more exciting, doesn't it? So I'm going to just press this a couple of different, nice. And I especially like that water that's coming down there. I think that'll give it just a really pretty little effect. And as a matter of fact, I like that so much I'm going to try and do it a little more over here too. It's never done until it's done. All right, then we'll just kind of roll that around a little bit and let it run on its own. This pink up here is actually a little bit dark for me, but so I might add just a little bit of white. Over that a little bit. Oops. It's because of all that water that's on my jelly plate. All right, so I will see what interesting things happen from there. I like that so far. I am going to wipe it off with a baby wipe. Just because of all that water that's on there, I'm not going to try and get it totally clean, but I do want a little bit of that water off. And I noticed that Robin Marie has quite a bit of this olive, a little bit more olive color. I haven't played with that a whole lot, so we'll see what happens with that. Wow, there's some really fun things going on in there. And I kind of like the little bit of grays that have happened too. I think once we start putting our flowers on, that'll be quite nice. And then I think I have one more sheet of this pulled out, so nice. And I am actually going to stop right there. I don't want a whole lot more going on in my background. We have some brights and we have some muted tones, and I am happy with that the way it is. I'm going to just dry this off just a little bit. So I will be right back. Okay, we are back and we are dry. Now for this next part, what I'm going to do is take some of those stickers and I'm going to take some of these stickers and incorporate them on the sheet a little bit. And you know what really struck me as these again are from the In the Garden sticker tape collection of Robin Marie's. And you know, one of the things that really kind of struck me was just taking some bits and pieces from some of these. Ooh, that was not good. Oh, I'm so sad. So sad. But we'll stick it together. I'll stick it together. And I think I'm going to actually line it up with some of these lines on here. And you could certainly use the whole arrow too, and just white out some of the parts that you don't want. Here, nobody even knows it ripped, do they? And I love these like dots here. So let's just grab a couple of those and put those on too. I know the Wonder Dog must sense a deer or something equally dangerous outside. And here again, I'm going to just line this up kind of arbitrarily with one of these lines that I have going on back there. And then, you know, I may just grab that and put that next to it. I think I'm going to grab those dots too. I really thought I would love working with these arrows, but I kind of like what's going on the inside of the arrows better. Ooh, that went together nicely, didn't it? I love that little bit of music in there. And I kind of like how that went together too. And I think I'm done with those because the rest of them are kind of small. I think I'll just grab some of these up here too. Oh, look at that gorgeous. That gorgeousness. I'm going to leave some of that green in there. You can see some of little watercolor or just really loose paint pieces, parts inside of there, which I've really been drawn to lately. All right, now where? Kind of want to keep these focused a little bit down here. I'm imagining a line there. Pull that up just a little bit. Gosh, I love that area right there. I just fall in love with little bits and pieces of things. All right, so the next thing I think I'm going to do is I want to cut out my little lady. So I am going to go off camera to do that because I don't think you want to watch me cutting all of her. But I want to be able to place her on there so that I can see where I'm going from here. So I will be right back. And we're back. So I cut her out, which is a little bit of a challenge because she's got just those super skinny little arms and little skinny legs. The arms gave me a little more run for my money than the legs did. And her arm actually sticks straight out horizontal, which makes her figure actually have a little more of a line that goes down to the side a little bit. And then she has a little bird on her hand. So I've got that all cut out too, and hopefully I won't lose it or whatever. So now what to do on this? What really struck me as I was thinking about her and the pattern that we've created in back was this flower right here. And I think I really want that to be part of her garment there. I think that'll be really fun. But I also want a little bit of gray in the background. So I have a book by Bill Johnson that's about God, and I just cut some pieces out of it. And I enjoy this gray color because it kind of seems to go with the gray that's in the background there. So I'll just keep a couple little pieces of that there. Kind of like this write it down thought, but that will have to go underneath that one because it doesn't have a torn top, which is fine. And I love the idea of this thought, write the vision and make it plain on tablets that he may run who reads it. It doesn't quite fit all the way there. We'll put that someplace else in there. And seriously, I am living on Lake Superior because I took a picture of Lake Superior and put it on a dream board. So when you write things down or put pictures of something on something, it is absolutely powerful. It's like my free, you didn't think I was going to give you a message, nor did I. Sorry, 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 sorry. You could use, I really like that Ooh glue too. Doesn't have to be so straight, and I wanted this write it down underneath it, so we'll see if we can still squish that in there. So bad at gluing. I'm not really very good at cutting either, I decided while I was cutting that. And I'm going to grab a card here and just really glue that down. All right, that is good. What did I do with my card? You can probably keep track of things for me better than I can. I'm going to be really careful of her arms. I already broke one off already, and I had to glue it back on. So, and now I'm going to get that flower, and I think what I've been able to do is make it so that I was thinking of cutting that background out, but now the gray just fits in so well with that I don't know that I will. I'm debating. I'm going to cut a little bit of it off, I think. I really like the way those petals go up, so I would love to, that's okay. I'm going to do that. All right, made the decision. I like that. Now I'm going to just get a couple of paints. And you know, it's got some really pretty greens in it here. I'm not sure I have those exact greens, but I lost our write it down word there. And I am going to take a little brush and do it. You could sure do it with your fingers too. And you know, I'm going to purposefully mix just a little bit of this orange in there, so that's going to gray down that green a little bit, which I think will be fun. Get just a little more of this. And some white. I love white. So I want my light coming from over here. Actually, I quite like that. I would prefer that her top be a little more orange than that. Right, good. Am I thinking about her? I think I want a little bit darker color over there so that she'll pop out a little bit more. So I'm going to pull a little night and put it over there. Gosh, that might be super dark. I'll put just a little bit of it. Just a little bit of it on the edge there. I'm going to try and get that off of there. Clean part of my baby wipe. It's okay, she's just got a little shadow there. I got enough of it off, so we're okay. I'm gonna actually cut off those, well, actually, see how it looks ripped before I cut it. It's kind of fun, isn't it? I'm gonna do her little head thing here first. Forgot to use Robin's olive. But I don't know, let's try it on something else first. I can add a little bit of that. I'm putting two different colors on my paintbrush. That's kind of pretty. Now I'm not sure if it's pretty because I have the two colors or just because I put a second coat of paint on there. I find that a second coat of paint makes a big difference. Those are pretty colors together though. All right, so I'm going to go back in. Oh, I need to pull some of that, love that turquoise up there. Where can we put a little turquoise? Now for her skin tone, I'm going to mix just a teeny bit of orange. I have some, well, actually I probably don't need orange. Just a little bit of this magenta. And a little bit of the yellow. I have found that those make just a really pretty skin tone. And obviously some white in it too. See what that really looks like over here. A little dark, I think. A little bit better, and I need a smaller brush for that. So ooh, that's even prettier. And I'm just going to dab a little bit in her skin tones. Actually quite light. And I'm using a really light hand on this, you know, because I'm not getting it over. I'm going to add just a little bit of darker magenta just for some shadows. I'll rub it in with a different brush because I have paint on the side of that too. Now she was made just on some sketchbook paper. I'm not sure if I mentioned that at the beginning or not. So this brush just has, this extra brush just has a little bit of water on it, just to blend that color in a little bit. And then I'm just going to put a little shadow underneath her skirt here, so that it looks like her leg is back. And I'm going to bring the shadow in a semicircle, so it looks like her leg is round. All right. I think that's it for coloring her in. Oops, she needs some shoes on, and you know, I think that it would be a perfect spot for our turquoise to pop back in, don't you? All right, I'm sure I'm driving you crazy because I'm doing that right on top of my pretty background, so I will be wise here. We're back and it's mostly dry. I just want to do a couple other things. I do really like this house, so I think I'm going to put that in, but I don't want it to overpower anything in there. And I'm actually going to take the time to stick this onto a pad. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up on some of that gray, and so I'm going to put just a teeny bit of, we'll just see how this turns out, which is always the way things are when I stamp. So I'm going to put just a little bit of black on there, not very heavy, and then I have a small little gray. So I'm going to put some gray on here too. Mostly gray. Mostly gray. And then she is going to go right here. And so I want this right here. I want it right here. Over a little bit on that line. All right. Let's see how that turns out. Oh, that's more than enough for me. All right, it's about time for us to glue her down. And I actually dug out an old brush, and I'm going to use this because she's so fragile. I'm going to use this to glue her down. And let me see. Just going to take this so I don't get glue too much all over. I want to make sure that I have plenty on there so that we're not getting stuff bouncing back up. So there's her spot. I want her arm to be horizontal. Oh, I used my card for that. All stuck. All right, nice. I'll just have some paper over here. Just so that I'm not sticking it with sticky hands. I mean, it feels better to use something else. And my card obviously has bunches of paint on it, so we won't use that. All right, I think I could use a little bit more in this corner. And a little bit there. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, nice. We just want a little white paint. Oh, I almost forgot to put a bird on. Oh, come on. Come on, white glue. Or that's not white glue, it's white paint, sorry. I want to put a little white around the house just so that it pops out just a little bit. Now this orange marker is, or orange stamp pad is we're going to lose some of that. But I think that's good, I like that. like that. Just carry that up a little bit there. Let's get her little bird on. Not sure what color the little bird is going to be. And I closed up my gel. Just put a decent amount on the back of him. And we'll just let that be. I think he might end up being a little bit of a teal bird. Just a little bit. Because teal turned out to be one of my favorite colors in here. All right, nice. I'm gonna put just a second coat on the shoe down here. Just looks kind of wimpy. I think I'm going to actually, let's do some highlights in this teal too. I like that teal with that pink, I think. It's part of it. All right. And bring just a little more of that white in there. Might put a little white. And I think that's good. I don't think we need much more than that. I could grab a little bit of this magenta and just throw some just heavy-duty paint on here. It's just the most fun. I think it's cone flower. I'm not sure. Most fun flower ever. All right, and now I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to start by penning in the lady, and then I'll just do some squiggles around our stamps that we have here. Not stamps, stickers. All right. Oh, I don't want to start on her face because that's just way too critical. This pen is actually working really well for literally, I'm just touching the edges. Sketching is one of my favorite things to do, and to actually make something look quite sketchy. It's just really fun for me. So good. I like that a lot. I'm going to go around these flowers, even though they're kind of in the background, just to emphasize them a little bit. Emphasize those circles. Just let them pop out a little bit more. It. it. I think if I wanted to take a little more time, I could put a little shadow around, but I think we won't. I think we'll leave her just the way she is. She's kind of fun, isn't she? Oops, I didn't go around this in here. And that's one of the main pieces, parts. All right, let's look at her close up. She's kind of fun, isn't she? Fun. I hope you had fun. I hope you try at least parts of it. Okay. God bless. Toodles.